Welcome to Straightforward Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Smackdown spoilers. Let's see, what else? This day in wrestling history and some WWE main event. That was on Tuesday night on the network. Okay. Anarchy Wrestling issued the following today about Stephen Walters signed the WWE deal. Anarchy Wrestling is pleased to announce that Stephen the Fever Walters has been offered and executed a contract to join the talent roster of World Wrestling Entertainment, Inc. NXT brand and will report to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida in May. Walters joins the likes of AJ Styles, Gunner, Xavier Woods, and many others who developed their skills at the Church of Southern Wrestling in Cornelia before moving on to major promotions. Walters is a former Anarchy Wrestling Tag Team Champion, former Anarchy Wrestling Television Champion, and has held titles at various promotions across the Mid-Atlantic area, including RWA in North Carolina and WrestleForce in South Carolina. His outstanding athletic ability caught the eye of promoters in Europe and Asia, where he completed several successful international tours. Walters will make the following appearances before ending his independent career. Saturday, March 22nd, Anarchy Wrestling in Georgia. The following Saturday, March 29th, Anarchy Wrestling in Georgia, Hardcore Hell 2014. And on March the 30th, the next day, WrestleForce from South Carolina. April the 5th, the day after WrestleMania, ECWA Super 8 Tournament in Delaware, April 12th. Anarchy Wrestling from Georgia will be his final appearance. This day in wrestling history, on March 10th, 2005, Raw returned to the USA Network after a 4.5-year run on Spike TV. 2006, Vampiro won the AAA Raid Race tournament. 2008, WWE announced Jack and Jerry Briscoe would be inducted into the 2008 class of WWE Hall of Fame. 2009, Boston police announced that they were filing 29 charges against an artist, Shepard Fairey, for allegedly putting up posters and stickers of a piece of artwork featuring the visage of former WWE champion Andre the Giant and the word obey. Well, in 2011, John Morrison and Melina, then working for WWE, decided to jump into the pool at Skybar, a well-known club, and ended up being banned for life, according to Morrison on his Twitter account. Other events in '85, the WWF held an event at the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Here's what happened on it. Bret Hart defeated Goldie Rogers. Jesse Ventura defeated Jim Young. British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, and Dynamite Kid defeated Terry Gibbs and Mr. X. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeated Matt Bourne. Temperature defeated Tony Atlas. WWF Women's Champion Leilani Kai defeated Wendy Richter. WWF Tag Team Champions, the United Express, Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham defeated the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov in a no disqualification match. And then Andre the Giant defeated Big John Studd by disqualification. 2007, Full Impact Pro held the first annual Eddie Graham Memorial Battle of the Belts at the National Guard Armory in Crystal River, Florida. The event featured a tournament named in honor of legendary Florida promoter Eddie Graham, held to crown the first FIP Florida Heritage Champion. And the results from that, FIP World Heavyweight Champion Roderick Strong defeated Jimmy Rave in the first round match. Tag Team Champion Jay Briscoe defeated Larry Sweeney in the first round match. Eric Stevens defeated Shingo in the first round match. Delirious defeated the other Tag Team champion, Mark Briscoe, in the first round match. World Heavyweight Champion Roderick Strong defeated the other Tag Team Champion, Jay Briscoe, in a semifinal match. Eric Stevens defeated Delirious in a semifinal match. The YRR, Kenny King, Jason Rance, and Sal Renaro defeated Corey Chavis, Jarrell Clark, and Seth Delay. Eric Stevens then defeated FIP World Heavyweight Champion Roger Strong to win the Eddie Graham Memorial Battle of the Belts tournament to become the first FIP Florida Heritage Champion. 2013, the Impact Wrestling held its annual lockdown pay-per-view at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, and here's what happened in it. X-Division champion Kenny King defeated Christian York and Zemo Ion in a triple threat match to retain the title. Joseph Park defeated Joey Ryan. Knockout champion Velvet Sky defeated Dale Kim to retain the title. Robbie T defeated Robbie E. Tag team champions Bobby Roode and Austin Aries defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Hernandez and Bad Influence. That's for those that don't know. You better call somebody. That's Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. In a three-way dance, tag team style to retain the titles. Wes Briscoe defeated Kurt Angle in a steel cage match. Team TNA Sting, Eric Young, Samoa Joe, and James Storm defeated Aces and Eights, Devon, Nux, Doc, and Garrett Bischoff in a lethal lockdown match. Billy Ray with Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan defeated TNA World Champion Jeff Hardy in a steel cage match to win the title. During the match, Devon, Wes Briscoe, and the rest of the Aces and Eights came to ringside. Devon got in the cage and went to attack Billy Ray when he suddenly threw Bully the bull peen hammer and used it to knock out Hardy, revealing himself as the president of Aces and Eights. Title changes on the day in history from Mondays. 1870, James H. McLaughlin won a tournament to become an American collar and elbow champion in Detroit, Michigan. 1952, Ann Laverne defeated Betty Hawkins to win the NWA Florida Women's title in Tampa, Florida. 1959, the mighty Ursus and Shag Thomas defeated Maurice and Paul LaShawn to win the Calgary NWA Canadian tag titles in Edmonton, Alberta. In 1967, the Assassins 1 and 2 defeated Crusher Carlson and Skandar Akbar to win the TSW United States tag titles. 1968, the year Osborne, Yukiko Tomo defeated the Fabulous Moolah to win the NWA World Women's title. Current WWE title histories do not recognize this change, by the way. 1972, John Tolos defeated Killer Kowalski to win the NWA America's heavyweight title in Los Angeles, California. 1980, Jack Briscoe and Jimmy Garvin defeated Stanley Lane and Brian St. John to win the NWA Florida tag titles in West Palm Beach, Florida. 1986, Brian Adias defeated the Grappler to win the World Class Championship Wrestling Heavyweight title. 1992, Dr. Death defeated Tom Pritchard to win the USWA Southern Heavyweight title in Louisville, Kentucky. 1998, Black Warrior defeated Shocker to win the NWA World Light Heavyweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. In 1999, Yumiko Hada defeated Shinobu Kandori to win the WWWA World Singles title in Tokyo, Japan. 2001, Eddie Colon, that's Primo, defeated Damian Steele to win the WWC World Junior Heavyweight title in Morovis, Puerto Rico. And in 2001, Quinan Creed defeated Gregory Martin to win the Maryland Championship Wrestling Cruiserweight title in Paw Paw, West Virginia. And in 2008, on Raw, Chris Jericho defeated Jeff Hardy to win the WWE Intercontinental title. 2008, on Raw, 2008, Hector Garza and Mystico defeated Averno and Mephisto to win the CMLL tag team titles. Birthdays. Happy birthday from Monday that I didn't get. Retired Mexican star Carlos Jr. turned 56. Also, today would have been Monday would have been the birthday of the first NWA World Champion Orville Brown. Would have been 106 years old. ECW original Little Guido, formerly of the FBI, full-blooded Italian, turned 42 years old, while former WWE Tough Enough winner Nydia turned 35. Also today would have been the 91st birthday, according to the article they did it, as a 91st birthday of Mae Young. Composers, the Newton brothers did the soundtrack for WWE Studios, Oculus, and also did music for WWE Studios See No Evil 2 recently. Speaking of See No Evil 2, directors the Twisted Twins will be appearing at the Marble City Comic-Con in Knoxville, Tennessee on April 11th, 12th, and 13th. Dusty Rhodes is promoting a one-night event called Superstars of Wrestling for the Miami-Dade County Fair in Miami, Florida. On Friday, March 14th at 8 p.m., wrestling is featured Regularly at the Miami-Dade County Fair, booked for the event is Dusty, Carlito, Wes Briscoe, Jesse Sorensen, and former NXT star Kenneth Cameron, and several local wrestlers. Admission to the wrestling event is free with the price of admission to the fair. Larry Zbyszko and Scott Hall will be appearing at the Great Atlanta Toy Convention this weekend at the Marriott Century Center in Atlanta, Georgia. 2014 Hall of Famer Lita will also be appearing on Saturday only until 3 p.m. In memoriam, on the day of Monday on 2007, the wrestling world lost WWE and WCW Hall of Famer the Big Cat Ernie Ladd at the age of 68. Like many wrestlers, Ladd began his sporting career playing football, but unlike most of his peers, Ladd found success in the sport. He never quite made the grade in the NFL, kind of like Brock Lesnar, but was a four-time AFL All-Star, as well as winning that championship once with the San Diego Chargers. He began wrestling in 1961, but didn't take it up full-time until his football career was ended by knee injuries in 1969. He soon became one of the era's most hated heels, constantly berating his opponents and using his taped thumb, claiming an old football injury as a weapon. He was arguably the first wrestler to continually use the heel count out finish. Walking away from a match when he seemed in trouble, he competed for the WWF in the late 70s, often challenging champions Bruno Sammartino and Pedro Morales, but always fell short. In the 1980s, he competed primarily for Mid-South, where he also had some sway on the booking committee, most notably kickstarting the push of a young Sylvester Ritter, who would go on to fame as the Junkyard Dog. He retired from wrestling in 1986 following further knee injuries, though would stay active in the business through occasional color commentary with the WWF. After leaving the promotion, Ladd largely stayed away from wrestling, operating a restaurant in New Orleans until it was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina. He was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2003 and was given 3 months to live. Ladd eventually succumbed to the disease around 4 years later. Now, for March 11th, this day in wrestling history, 1964, Antonio Inoki made his wrestling debut in Honolulu, Hawaii. 1996, Monday Night War continued. WCW Nitro defeated WWF Raw 3.2 to 2.9 in the ratings. In 2005, La Parka won the AAA Rey de Reyes tournament, defeating Latin Lover, Abismo Negro, Chessman, Double J Jeff Jarrett, Conan, and Cybernetico. In 2009, the former WWF Intercontinental Champion and MMA legend Ken Shamrock had been suspended for 1 year and fined $2,500 by the California State Athletic Commission after testing positive for 3 different types of steroids. Shamrock tested positive for noradrenaline, how to pronounce this? Noradrenaline, norethiocholanolone, and stanzolol after a February 13th win in California over Ross Clifton. It was Shamrock's first win in close to 4 years. The suspension effectively canceled a planned Shamrock versus Bobby Lashley MMA bout. Other events in this day, in history of 2007, TNA Destination X was held at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. Here's what happened on it. Latin American Exchange, Homicide and Hernandez with Conan defeated Team 3D with Johnny Rods in a ghetto brawl. James Storm and Jacqueline Moore defeated Petey Williams and Gail Kim in a double bulwark match. Senshi defeated Austin Starr in a crossface chicken wing match. After the match, Starr attacked Bob Backlund, who had to come down the ringside. The Voodoo Kim Mafia, B.G. James and Kip James, the James brothers, defeated the Heartbreakers. Well, that's in TNA, other known as DX in WWE. The Heartbreakers were Antonio Thomas and Romeo Roselli. That's also with WWE. With Christy Hemme and Chris Sabin defeated Jerry Lynn in a 2 out of 3 falls match to retain the TNA X Division title after a masked man, Christopher Daniels, attacked both Lynn and Sabin. Rhino defeated AJ Styles in an Elevation X match. Kurt Angle defeated Scott Steiner. Sting defeated Abyss in a casket match. Christian Cage defeated Samoa Joe to retain the NWA World title. In 1989, the WWF's 20th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event aired on NBC, earning a 10.0 rating. The show was taped on February 16th at the Hershey Park Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Brutus Beefcake defeated Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan by disqualification when Andre the Giant interfered and attacked Beefcake on the floor with Jake Roberts, making the save. The Snake was then attacked by both Andre and Rude in the ring, with Beefcake trying to make the save for Jake. Beefcake threw Rude out of the ring, but was taken out by Andre. Big John Studd then came out, and they had to stare down with Andre until Jake threw his Snake Damien in the ring and scared off Andre right away. Hulk Hogan with Miss Elizabeth defeated Bad News Brown. The $1 Million Man with Virgil pinned the Blue Blazer with a power slam. This was $1 Million Man's first in-ring appearance with his $1 Million belt. The Brain Busters, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, with Bobby Heenan and the Rockers. Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels fought to a double count out, and Red Rooster Terry Taylor defeated the Brooklyn Baller. In 1993, WCW held an event at Wembley Arena in London, England. WTV champion Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, defeated Michael Hayes to retain the title. NWA World Heavyweight Champion Barry Windham and United States Heavyweight Champion Dustin Rhodes fought to a double count out. Max Payne defeated Cactus Jack. Johnny B. Bad defeated Vinny Vegas, who was Johnny B. Bad, Mark Merrow, and Vinny Vegas is none other than Big Kevin Nash. Van Hammer then defeated Scotty Flamingo. The British Bulldog defeated Rick Rude by disqualification. Sting pinned WCW World Heavyweight Champion Big Van Vader to win the title. 2002, the WWF held the live 459th edition of Raw and taped 133rd Jack at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Raw earned a 4.5 rating on Spike TV. The dark match on that evening was Brock Lesnar defeating Spike Dudley. On Jack, the Hurricane defeated Swanaki. Lance Storm defeated Godfather. While Penis Venus defeated Perry Saturn. WWF Cruiserweight Champion Tajiri defeated Crash Holly. On Raw, the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, and RVD defeated the Dudley Boys. And Intercontinental Champion William Regal. Test defeated Rikishi, also defeated WWF Hardcore Champion Goldust to win the title. Kurt Angle and Booker T defeated Big Show and Edge. Christian defeated WWF Tag Team Champion Billy after Diamond Dallas Page interfered and hit the Diamond Cutter on Billy. After the match, Christian attacked Page, which set up their match at WrestleMania for Page's European title. Stacy Keibler and WWF Women's Champion Jazz defeated Lita and Trish Stratus. The NWO, Scott Hall and Hogan and Kevin Nash defeated Steve Austin and The Rock in a handicap match. Title changes on March 11th. 1935, Pat Newman defeated Jack Ross to win the Georgia Southern Light Heavyweight title in Augusta, Georgia, where I grew up at. Of course, I wasn't born in 35. 1946, Ken Fiddleman defeated Larry Tillman to win the NWA Junior Heavyweight title. By the way, I'm wondering if it was at the Bell Auditorium in Augusta back then. I don't know if Richmond County Civic Center was then, which is now called the James Brown Arena. 1952, Hombre Montana defeated Mike Sharp to win the San Francisco NWA Pacific Coast Heavyweight title in San Francisco, California. 1968, Aldo Bogny and Bronco Lubitsch defeated Eddie Graham and Lester Welch to win the Florida NWA Southern Tag Team titles in West Palm Beach, Florida. 1977, Pero Aguayo defeated El Ferron to win the NWA World Middleweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. As a result, Aguayo's Mexican National Middleweight title was then vacated. 1989, Jeff Jarrett defeated Dutch Mantell to win the championship, formerly Continental Wrestling Association Heavyweight title in Memphis, Tennessee. Jerry the King Lawler in 1991 defeated Terry Funk to win the USWA Unified World Heavyweight title. 1999, Samoan Death Squad, Faku and Spade defeated Silky Boom Boom and Frenchie Riviera to win the NWA World Wildside Tag Team titles in Loganville, Georgia. 2003, Dr. X defeated Tigre Blanco to win the Mexican National Welterweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. 2007, Giant Bernard and Travis Tonko defeated Wild Child, Manubu Nakanishi, and Takeo Omori to win the IWGP Tag titles. Birthdays on March 11th. Happy birthday goes to former TNA personality Johnny Fairplay, turned 40. Former ECW Tag and Television Champion Pitbull #1 Gary Wolf, turned 47. WWE Hall of Famer Abdullah the Butcher, turned 73. One-time AJ All Japan Pro Wrestling. Junior Heavyweight Champion Katsuhiko Nakajima, turned 26. And UK Indie star Robbie Brookside, turned 48. Also would have been the birthday of former WWF developmental talent Russ Haas, turned 40. Would have been 40. That's the brother of Charlie Haas. Don't remember him. The Memoriam, the Wrestling World lost. 3 personalities on this date. 1993, former tag team champion Dino Bravo, real name Adolfo Bresciano, was shot dead at the age of 44. Bravo began wrestling in Quebec in 1970, establishing himself first as a tag team specialist, including a JCP tag team title win before beginning a singles push at the end of the decade, accumulating in a Canadian heavyweight title win. Shortly afterwards, he began appearing on WWF programming, again beginning with a run in the tag team division, winning the belts with Dominic Ganucci. Before beginning a singles push, he left the company after a falling out over a match against Hulk Hogan. Bravo was scheduled to main event a match in Montreal against Hogan. However, WWF did not want the crowd to favor their hometown hero. Bravo over the WWF's golden boy, Hogan. Despite this, Bravo returned to the company a year later, adopting the bleach blonde look that he has probably been remembered for. Yeah, he used to have a dark brownish hair, kind of like mine, back in the day. In this second run, he was again pushed as a singles competitor, but never ascended to the previous height, with a run against then Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, as a highlight. He retired from active duties in 1992 and opened a wrestling school in his native Montreal. Bravo was found dead in his home, shot 17 times, supposedly a mob hit stemming from his alleged role in importing illegal cigarettes to Canada. In 2010, former Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion Jerry Valiant succumbed to Alzheimer's at age 63, started his career in Ontario in 1959, quickly relocated to the United States, where he believed the real money was, but by the end of the 1960s, he had won championships in Georgia, Indianapolis, Canada, and Australia. By the 70s, he had returned to the full-time competition in Canada, working under the mask as the Assassin. He had a now legendary feud with the Sheik, accumulating in his unmasking, whilst also working under Dick the Bruiser in Detroit and taking dates in Japan. By 1975, he was winding down his career, having wrestled almost exclusively in Vancouver for the past 2 years. In 1979, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation came calling, where he would hold the tag titles with storyline brother Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man. This proved to be Jerry's last hurrah. Though he would briefly return to the company as a referee in 1984, he lived out a quiet retirement operating a landscaping company. Finally, in 2010, tag team legend Sandy Scott lost his battle with cancer at the age of 76. Scott also began his career in Ontario, though he would continue to compete in Canada throughout his career. As one half of the Flying Scots, the real-life brother George, he became one of the most respected tag team wrestlers across Toronto and Buffalo areas. Amassing 8 tag team title reigns in Stampede Wrestling, the duo later branched out, winning titles in Indiana, Kansas, and the Carolinas, Japan, and Australia. The pair later had a falling out, leading to Sandy's in-ring retirement, after which he took an off job with JCP. After Ted Turner take over, with the promotion, Scott continued his backstage role while becoming the face of WCW worldwide. He also helped found Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Though wouldn't last long with the promotion, Scott lived out his retirement in Roanoke, Virginia. Mick Foley has updated the prizes for his WrestleMania 30 Dream Vacation raffle at the link. I'll post that. John Cena versus Randy Orton in a steel cage, and Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio is being advertised for WWE's March 22nd return to Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. WWE originally announced Luke Harper versus John Cena for this past Monday's Raw around 6 p.m., but then announced Eric Rowan versus Cena just before Raw started going on air. Another documentary is being done on wrestling legend Beautiful Bobby Eaton. It's scheduled to be released in late 2014 as being done by Terrence Ward, who manages and announces in the Mid-South region. As noted earlier, previously, Mark Henry will be hosting a Rap and Wrestling with NYC DJ Peter Rosenberg at the SXSW in Austin, Texas later this month. Henry noted on Twitter that the past and the present WWE stars will also be appearing. 2014 WWE Hall of Famer Lita has launched a Facebook page. I'll post that for you. WWE's website has added the Moondoags, Rex and King to their alumni roster. Wonder if they're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Cody Rhodes noted on Twitter that the episode of the JBL and Cole Shaw that comes out around 3 p.m. on Tuesday will showcase a part of the business that has always been a secret. Former WWE star Vito was apparently rushed to the hospital over the weekend or on Monday, where he underwent emergency surgery for an unknown condition. His girlfriend noted on Facebook that he had a mishap and had to go to the emergency room, but is going to be okay after surgery. We hope to have more later. My prayers are still with him because he did come back on there and post that he's doing okay. Solomon Crow's WWE NXT TV debut against the Western Fort was supposed to air on the Tuesday program on NXT, but was replaced by the debut of Adam Rose. Crow's debut is expected to air next week. Speaking of Adam Rose's debut, this was actually taped at the previous set of the NXT tapings and was scrapped in favor of the post-arrival tapings. It's likely WWE kept more segments from those tapings that we will see air over the next few weeks. Summer Rae was doing some weapons and stunt training for WWE Studios, the Marine 4, who replaces the former Eve, over the weekend at CrossFit Phenom in Burbank, California. I'll be posting some photos of that. According to her Twitter, it appears Stephanie McMahon is filming a fitness video at the WWE Performance Center with Joe DeFranco of DeFranco's Gym and Lionsgate Entertainment. BeFit Fitness DVD division fitness author and director Cal Pozo is directing the project. It doesn't look like that Stephanie is even showing on her pregnancy. It's been several months. And WWE will return to Greensboro, North Carolina on Tuesday, May 13th for a Smackdown taping. The pre-sale is going on now with the password CHAMP. So, with this news here, possible John Cena has the title by then, but we'll wait and see because he's advertised the Wyatt family versus Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, and Big Show being advertised. But also, again, like it was on Raw taping, they advertised Randy Orton as having the title. So anything goes with WWE. According to media reports coming out of Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon, who was recently announced as the latest inductee into 2014 class of the WWE Hall of Fame, will be inducted in by his sons Carlito and Primo, as well as his nephew Epico Fernando. Stephanie McMahon at Stephanie McMahon. Follow her. And she again comments on her going over workout for DVD with the Franco's Gym and director, producer Cal Pozo at WWE Perform CTR. Hashtag Fit Mom. Hashtag Lionsgate Be Fit. Thank you to Matt Bourne for the following news. Many of the members of Daniel Bryan's Yes Movement on Monday's Raw was actually WWE crew members, backstage staff workers, and catering workers. Thank you again from Ringside News, participants in a chat. And on their segment, they said some of the local indie Fed wrestlers were also doing some of the action in the Yes movement. WWE's main event from Horizon Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas, and here's the results. Main event opens from Little Rock, Arkansas. From Tom Phillips welcomes us, Los Matadors versus Ryback. So we go to the ring out first. Los Matadors with El Torito. Ryback was out next. Ryback starts things off with Diego, and they lock up. Ryback tosses him across the ring. Diego with a drop kick and a headlock, back and forth. Fernando tags in for some double teaming and a 1 count. Ryback counters but misses a big splash. Fernando with a roll up for a 2. Fernando with a back elbow from the second rope. Ryback turns it around and takes Fernando into the corner. Axel tags in and they double team Fernando. Fernando gets the upper hand, but Axel turns it back around with a big shot to the back of the head. Axel taunts Fernando and puts a boot to the throat. Ryback tags in and continues the assault on Fernando. Ryback with a knee drop. Ryback gets a takedown and a boot to the face for another 2 count. Axel comes back in and they keep Fernando grounded. Axel nails a huge kick to the face for another 2 count. Ryback comes back in and hits a long vertical suplex. Fernando finally fights back, but Ryback drops him on the shoulder. Ryback misses a big splash. Axel comes in and stops a tag. Axel misses a suplex. Diego finally tags in. Diego unloads on Axel drop kick Ryback off the apron. Diego gets a crossbody. Diego with head scissors out of the corner. More offense from Diego. Diego goes to the top and goes for a 10 time, but Ryback breaks the pin. Fernando does Ryback to the floor. Fernando leaps out and takes Ryback down again. El Torito gets kicked by Axel, flying out to Ryback. Diego rolls up Axel for the win. Then we see AJ and Tamina backstage before going to promos. We get to the ring and out comes the Diva champion AJ and Tamina Snuka. AJ says she is so bored. She says she will beat Natalya tonight and prove that she has no competition and prove why she's the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. Next up, we get that match. Natalya's music hits. Out she comes. Only Timmel does official ring introduction since this is a title match. Natalya strikes first and takes AJ to the mat. Natalya keeps AJ grounded as Tamina looks on. AJ fights out and they trade holds. Natalya takes AJ back to the mat. AJ breaks it by getting to the bottom rope. AJ stalls on the apron. AJ takes her time coming in and Natalya goes for a pin attempt. Natalya with a slam and an abdominal stretch. AJ countered, but Natalya kicked her out of the ring. AJ landed on the floor. We cut to a commercial. Tamina ends up distracting Natalya, and AJ takes control. AJ with a 2 count. Natalya goes for a big slam, but AJ turns it into a standing up submission. Natalya breaks free, and we get another pin attempt, but AJ runs over her with a flying clothesline. Natalya will roll up for 2. Another clothesline 2 count. More back and forth as Natalya with a drop kick to the face. They trade shots in the corner as AJ unloads and with kicks and the referee backs her off. AJ with a boot to the throat. AJ applies a standing submission again. Natalya breaks out of it, but AJ applies another submission from the rear. AJ charges but misses in the corner. Natalya made a comeback and hit a suplex. Natalya with another takedown and a drop kick to the back of the head. Natalya with another scoop slam for 2. AJ countered the move with a 5 Black Widow submission. Natalya broke free of it and goes for a sharpshooter, but AJ rolled her up for 2 count. Natalya blocked another move and this time gets the sharpshooter locked in. AJ almost gets the ropes, but Natalya pulls her back to the center ring. AJ finally reaches bottom rope with Tamina. Help and the fans boo. Natalya swings at Tamina and isn't happy. Tamina runs a mouth from the apron. AJ takes advantage and nails the Shining Wizard. AJ applies the Black Widow from in. Then we see Santino Marella and taking Emma out on a date backstage. Their food was supplied by WWE Catering. Santino talked, but Emma needed some pepper. he says they get up to get her some. He gets up to get her some and pulls the tablecloth, pulling the food all over them. Then Tina was so embarrassed and storms off. Emma gets upset and cries, saying she will never ask for pepper again. Then we get a WrestleMania promo. We get a look back at Daniel Bryan of occupying Raw, United States title match. Mark Henry versus Dean Ambrose. We go straight to the ring, and out comes champion Ambrose with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in their corner, right behind him. We go to more commercials. Back from the break, out comes Mark Henry. Tony Chamel does former ring introductions again. Henry strikes first and laughs at Ambrose. Henry with a big slam that sends Ambrose to the floor for a breaker or a breather. Henry pulls Ambrose back in and slams him. Henry works on the arm. Henry sends Ambrose back out to the floor in front of Rollins and Reigns. Henry goes after Ambrose and brings him in. Henry stares down Rollins and Reigns before entering the ring. Ambrose kicks out his knee, and Henry goes down on the floor. Ambrose leaps off the apron and goes after the knee. Then we go to more commercials. Back from the break, and Ambrose has Henry down. Working on his knee, Ambrose comes flying off the ropes and takes out the knee again. Ambrose drops an elbow on the knee. Ambrose gets a single leg crab now. Henry finally gets to his feet and slams Ambrose from the second rope, but Henry's leg goes out also. They both get up, and Henry drops Ambrose with a clothesline. Henry with a big power slam for a 2. Henry goes on offense and gets a pin, but Rollins puts his foot on the bottom rope. Henry goes to the floor and drops Rollins. Henry comes back in, but Ambrose beats him down. Henry drops Ambrose with a big boot. Henry drags Ambrose into the corner and goes for the big splash, but from the second rope, but Reigns distracts him. Ambrose pulls Henry from the ropes and falls to the mat. Ambrose slams Henry's face into the mat for the win. After the match, Rollins and Reigns come to the ring. The referee checks on Henry outside the ring, and the Shield poses in the ring after the main event goes off here. This next is by share on Twitter, share on Google +1, share on Reddit, share on Leak, share on Tumblr more sharing services posted on March 11th. Steve Carrier posted some more about the Little Rock results. Michael Cole, JBL, Lily Garcia out first. Smackdown kicks off with Sheamus versus Heath Slater with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal at ringside. Sheamus gets the win with a blow kick in just over 5 minutes. 3MB tried to get involved, but had no luck. Triple H comes out with a big heel heat and no Stephanie McMahon. He announces that Daniel Bryan isn't here and talks to the Bryan fans. Lots more boos when he says Bryan won't be here tonight. Triple H says he's not happy with the fans for what happened on Raw and says he's taking away their happiness starting now. Triple H vows to destroy the Yes Movement at WrestleMania 30. Triple H says Bryan had no chance, just like the fans. Triple H says Bryan won't earn a spot in the World Heavyweight title match, and there won't be a happy ending this year for Bryan fans. Triple H then calls out Damien Sandow and isn't happy with him for not getting in the ring against Bryan and the fans on Raw. And Sandow begs for forgiveness. So we get Sandow versus Seth Rollins is up next. Rollins gets a quick win with his finisher. Sandow leaves the ring, but Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns roll him back in for a triple powerbomb. Big E squash Fandango in under 2 minutes. We get a recap of the segment with Paul Heyman and The Undertaker from Raw. Bad News Barrett finally makes a comeback to come out, and the streak will die at WrestleMania segment, leading to kids crying and keeping their parents up all night. This will lead to the parents losing their jobs. Then next up we had Cesaro and Jack Swagger versus the Rhodes brothers. And then when Cody and Goldust defeated Jack Swagger and Cesaro, more tension between the real Americans here. Goldust gets taken out, and they double team Cody until the Usos make the save. Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was next. The Wyatt family came out to the pop of the night. Go back and forth match for the near pause at the end. Bray got the win with an impressive Sister Abigail. Backstage segment with Kane and the Shield. He ordered them to be at ringside for tonight's main event, but they say they don't take orders from Kane. They'll be out there anyway because it's what's best for business. Brie Bella versus Tamina Snuka was up next. Brie Bella was at ringside. And AJ is on commentary. Nikki gets the quick win with her finisher. Well, that advertisement was wrong, so Nikki was facing Tamina. Dolph Ziggler then defeated Alberto Del Rio in a lengthy back-and-forth match. That looked like the end of SmackDown. WWE Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery Movie comes out on DVD March 25th. It's already available for purchase on iTunes the link I did not get. I'll post it here. I'll go back and get it. Also published in the new Scooby-Doo Flash game at this link as well. Okay, the iTunes, I got to get that link, and it's going on sale for $19.99. World premiere of Meet Me Here, or Meet Me There, that stars Goldust, will take place on Friday, April 4th during WrestleMania 30 weekend at the 5th annual Filmorama Festival. There will only be a midnight showing of the movie. Goldust will be attending the premiere that night. For ticket information, you'll find that as well. Dark main events from Smackdown taping. Little Rock saw Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns defeat Luke Harper and Eric Rowan when Reigns speared Harper. Second report from Brandon Tripp, who sent the following SmackDown spoilers from Little Rock, Michael Cole, JBL, Lily Garcia up first. SmackDown kicked off with the Sheamus for the Heat versus the 3MB at ringside. Sheamus got the win with a boat kick in just over 5 minutes. You might as well just say handicap, but it was, like I said earlier, versus Heath Slater. But if the members got involved, didn't help them. Triple H came out with a big heel. No Stephanie. They announced about Brian wasn't here. Don't talk that. He vows to destroy the Yes Movement at WrestleMania 30. Triple H says Brian has no chance, like the fans. Then says Triple H won't earn a spot at the World Heavyweight title match, and they won't be happy ending this year for Brian fans. Triple H calls out Damien Sandow, makes a match. Sandow versus Seth Rollins up next, and get Rollins a quick win with a finisher. Sandow leaves the ring as Ambrose and Reigns rolling back in for triple powerbomb. Big E squash Fandango in under 2 minutes. You get a recap of the segment with Paul Heyman and The Undertaker from Raw. That was different from the last report. Badness Barrett came out and said the streak will die at WrestleMania, leading to the kids crying and keeping their parents up all night, and that will lead to the parents losing their jobs. Rose Brothers versus defeated Jack Swagger Cesaro. More tension between the Real Americans there. Goldust gets a beating out. Just taken out, and they double team Cody until the Usos make the save. Kofi Kingston and Bray Wyatt was up next. Wyatt family came out to the top of the night. Good back and forth match with the near falls at the end. Bray got the win with an impressive Sister Abigail. Backstage segment with Kane and Shield. He orders them to be at ringside for tonight's main event, but they say they don't take orders from him, but they'll be out there anyways because it's best for business. Nikki Bella versus Tamina Snuka. Again, Brie was at ringside. AJ is on commentary. Nikki got the quick win with a finisher. Dolph Ziggler defeated Alberto Del Rio in a lengthy back-and-forth match. After the match, Renee Young interviews Ziggler in the middle of the ring. Ziggler bragged about beating Del Rio twice in a row and always stealing the show. Ziggler enters himself into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Ziggler says he's been waiting for his WrestleMania moment, and it will come when he wins the Andre Trophy. The crowd was cheering for Ziggler big time. Carlos Colon is then announced for the WWE Hall of Fame. That's Carlito and Primo and their dad. Wyatt family cut a promo on the match with John Cena at WrestleMania. Kane finds the Shield backstage and brings them to the ring with him. Lana and Alexander Rusev came out to the stage for another segment. Like the one on Raw, Kane vs. Big Show was up next in the main event. The Shield was at ringside. Show gets a win with a chokeslam. After the match, Kane yells at the Shield for watching him lose. Kane grabs Rollins for a chokeslam, but Reigns breaks it up with a big spear. The Shield stand together over Kane as SmackDown ends. That's why I always get 2 reports, and thanks for viewing. Peace out.